What you are about to see is bizarre, unsettling, and riveting.
Hi, so I wanted to do a tour of what my Sanctuary Hills looks like right now. The majority of this was done when I first started building and that kind of stuff. I did do a video of the apartments that I did, and I'm pretty proud of those. I mean, they're just absolutely fabulous. I don't know if I could ever improve on them. Blah blah blah. They're not that great, but I like them. So um, those are staying. They're fairly new and that kind of stuff. And hey, look, the weather actually accommodated me. So I'm going to do a tour of what I have now and discuss what I plan on changing. And then I think I'm going to do a series of videos of what I am doing as I do that to improve Sanctuary Hills. So we can all kind of watch along if you're interested and see how it goes. So you'd already seen the apartments. That was one of my previous videos. Um, this is my entrance gate. So up here I have some turrets and that kind of stuff. A couple guard posts. For some reason, the guards aren't in the guard positions, even though that's the only thing they're supposed to be doing. But they're not in there. So I haven't really done anything in really any of the houses other than scrapped a bunch of stuff, threw in a couple beds where there was room. I see there's no bed in there, and no bed in there. So apparently I haven't done anything in this house, but the other houses should have beds in them and that kind of stuff. So this building here was my first attempt at building um, anything, and this was supposed to be kind of like, I guess, my little hacienda. So what I did was, I don't know how or why that is. Oh, so what I did was originally this was all open, and um, I made it like a big barracks out of it with a little kitchen area and off the side, big community type thing. Well, about the time I started building the apartments, I decided to wall all this off and make little apartments in here. So they're not very special. The idea was just to um, get the beds in place and that kind of stuff. And this, when I did that, this prompted me to have to um, build those other apartments for the housing of everybody else. So as you can see, I was able to fit in quite a few without all of them being cramped and that kind of stuff. So move up here and had to throw up a couple more beds. And so here I started putting a lot of my own personal items and all my bobbleheads and everything like that. And I just basically started building it and then just pretty much stopped. Oh, look, everybody's knocking off my little robots. We have something in our new DLC that'll take care of that. So this building here is not overly special. Um, like I said, it was one of my first things that I built here, and it served a purpose at the time, but I think it needs to go, and I will be doing more improvements as we move along. So as you can see, here's some of my guard stations, and all of my guards I made robots. And I named them all Defender 1 through 5 or whatever I'm up to. It's very possible that some of them have died. So, um, but along with the guards that are here, I also put out some turrets and that kind of thing, just to help kind of move things along. So um, we'll just kind of go along the perimeter real quick. As you can see, I just threw up some defensive positions and some turrets just to help protect things, and you know that way I don't have to run back here every time I turn around. And before I knew how to do junk fences or anything like that, I used these walls, which I don't know anybody. I've never seen anybody really ever use these things as they're intended. They're kind of weird. It's not often you build a building that shape that you would have an interior or like incoming corner. But I didn't know any better way back when, and so I was using them to plug the holes. So that's how little I skill or ideas of what to do that I had. So um, and I'm not sure how I did this, but I was able to build this outside of the build area. I don't know. I did have a mod that extended the build area a little bit. It's possible that it extended it past that other point, but if I take that out now, it won't do any good. So um, let's move along. We'll come back to this area. This was my shopping center and bar. So again, more houses that I've done nothing with. If you've watched my videos, you've seen this apartment building that I did. And again, there's this one, which is very similar to the one that's on the bottom of the hill. And then we have this house where there's been nothing in there. And then we have my um, water purification with a couple guard towers out here. And looks like Sheffield's just kind of hanging out. Maybe he's taking a leak or something. But I built some guard towers out here, some turret towers, and that kind of thing. And so far, it's worked pretty well. Um, I was kind of inspired by what No Respawns and Draco Invictus did with theirs. I think No Respawns was going to pull his out. I'm not sure if he ever did or not, but it's kind of inspired by that. But I didn't want to go to quite the extremes that he did. Um, I just wanted to kind of get the feel of it and that kind of thing, but not do as much as he did. So that's all I've done there. Come in through the back end here, and of course I've got towers everywhere, power towers everywhere. And this here was an idea that I was trying to do. I was wanting to see if I could put any kind of a roof on one of the box cars. So, and here's where my power station is. I plan on kind of making that a little bit better, possibly putting it in a different position or what have you. But right now, that's where it used to be, and that's where it's currently at. Um, so here's the box car. This is something I just started working on, and I decided, you know what, let's do a tour first before I really kind of finish this up. And I can't do a whole lot with this anyway until I need the vendors to go to bed so I can move the stalls and that kind of thing. I was able to move the clinic out, so the clinic has been repositioned. And so what I did here was I just have the clinic in the front, and then a bed so he could sleep there. I haven't assigned him to it yet, but he could sleep there if he wanted to. And then here I just made a simple little apartment, very much like the other ones, but I decided to kind of take the space and make something out of it. And so one of the things that I would like to do is really kind of congest this space and really, hey, look, everybody's checking out the roof and its crappiness, I guess. Got three people. Their Mama Murphy and what's his name, Longfellow and Mr. Muscles, whatever the hell his name is. I can't think of it right now. Anyway, so oh, he's supposed to be tending bar. Get your ass to work. So um, I want to kind of congest things and really kind of make small little alleys between the different buildings and that kind of stuff, and really kind of make this look like a bustling town. One of the things that I've found is once you get all the settlers here, you can then continue building robots and filling up spaces. So if they ever do fix the glitch for the robots to be able to um, to be vendors, then I will have them in here. So here's my little bazaar, and this I was pretty proud of this when I first did this. But so what I did was I built the bottom first, and I made this so the signs would stick out right by the roof line and all that kind of stuff. But that caused me not to have a roof. So what I had to do was I actually built the top section, which is a bar, separately, and I had to get it into position after the fact without having anything kind of sticking down there. So technically, it's floating. It's not actually resting on anything, um, and so I went through and tried to hide that as much as I could. And I did have some mods at one point, which is caused me to have to redo the entryway and that kind of thing, and it really kind of affected some of the stuff. So that's why you'll see some things kind of look out of place or what have you. So um, that's my lower section, and then we go up to the bar where we get to come up here, and I have a decent sized bar. June, please don't jump. Okay, go ahead. So here we have a large bar and lots of seats and that kind of thing. Obviously, not very well decorated. Um, Not a whole lot of anything other than just a bunch of seats and that kind of thing. So I don't really feel like I need to have a bar this large, although I do want to have a larger gathering, maybe a couple of different bars. Um, I want to have at least one level 3 vendor of each type here, and then I can put in a couple smaller, um, single or level 1, level 2 type vendors as well for bars and some other stuff like that, just to kind of spread things around. So I have the clinic, but I do want to build something resembling a hospital. So I think right now what my goal is to get the vendors out of this building so I can tear this building down. And so I'm going to build them some either temporary places, or I'm going to make them permanent. So this here, I'm going to put either ammo or armor or weapons on this side and armor on that side, or vice versa. It's going to be armor and weapons in here, and so they'll have a back door which they can come in and out to go to work. And currently they have some place to sleep. I don't know where it is, so I don't need to make them have any kind of a new sleeping arrangements or anything like that. But they should be able to walk back through here, although it is going to be a little bit tight. But once I get those two built, then I'm going to go ahead and build um, the one for the general clothing, which maybe I'll put it over here for the clothing section, and then maybe the general trader I'll still leave up in this area or something. Maybe I'll put the general trader over here, whatever. Just find some other places to put those vendors and kind of really kind of make this place look more happening and that kind of thing. So I decided I don't really like the mall type area for all the vendors to be, because then if anybody is kind of milling around there, because some of the NPCs that aren't doing anything, they just kind of wander around and sit down and talk or whatever. So I want to let them do that out and about, so there's more activity in the area, which is one of the reasons why I built the droids to do all of my guard positions. So that's my plans. If anybody has any ideas, thoughts, any of that kind of stuff, questions, what have you, then by all means, um, make sure you make a comment. I would appreciate any suggestions that anyone has. Um, I do plan on, now, many of you may question if I use mods or whatever. I am on a PC, and I used to use mods. Um, Caused some issues here and there, and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try not to use very many mods if I can avoid it, because it just took a lot out of me using it before. I think currently the only mod I still have going is the Touch of Green mod, and everything else is disabled. So I'm going to do the trick that Draco Invictus and No Respawns and a host of others have done, which is to cover up the roofs, and I will do cover up the roofs and then put a second story up on top and make some apartments or something up there. Um, the hospital, that type of thing will be up there, up above, or what have you. But this space here should be opened up, and this space down here where these other apartments should be able to get opened up. I need to get those done before I can start redoing the roofs on any of the houses in Sanctuary, because I don't have the space. I need that flat space and all that kind of stuff to be able to build those out. So I don't have that available right now. So that's kind of why I'm starting with this building, and I will move on as we go. But anyway, let me know if anybody has any thoughts or suggestions, and I will take all of them into consideration and see what we can do. And like I said, I'm going to do a series on this, and hopefully it should be entertaining. We can all learn something, and you guys can all criticize me and make suggestions and laugh at me or whatever as we move along. So thank you very much, and I hope that you all are having a great weekend, and you continue to enjoy my videos and make comments and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.